Hello guys, I am your host Prateik. So here I am with the frequently asked question in C++ programming language. So let's start with the first question. The first question is what are keywords? When we talk about the keywords are the some words which are having a special meaning for the language compiler. Let's suppose we are having the keyword include. That means the include will do the feature that it will include all the given header file in our program. So the keywords are the words which are having a special word for the language compiler. So let's move to the next questions. These are what are identifiers? When we talk about the identifiers, as the name suggests, identifier, that means this helps to identify some memory locations, or we can say some part of program. So we can say identifiers are some named memory spaces which are used to name some particular type of memory, or we can say some type of compound statement. So we can say identifiers are the name given to different parts of program. And one of the major part of the identifier is variable. Variable is also a name type of memory space. It is a name given to different types of memory spaces which can vary from one value to another. So when we move to the next question, it is what is data type in C++? When we talk about the data types are these are some words which tell the type of data to be stored in our variables. These are some words which tells which type of particular data are going to be stored in our particular memory spaces, or which type of data it will return, or which type of data it will accept as a parameter. So the data types are some words which are used in the memory allocation. We can say it is used to return some type of values. It is used to it is used to identify the type of parameter to be passed. So the data type is basically used to define the type of data. So next question is what are the different types of data types? When we talk about the types of data types, there are two types of data type. One is the fundamental data type, another one is the derived data type. When we talk about the fundamental data type is the primitive data type. That means they are the data type which are predefined and they are developed by our developers. So the data type which are the predefined, that means which are given by our language developers, these particular data types are known as primitive data type. When we talk about the non-primitive data type, that are derived data type, these are the data type which are partially or fully dependent on the primitive data type. They are some data type which are defined from the predefined data type, that is primitive data type. We can see the example. We can say let's say primitive data type, we can say int, char and float and other. And when we talk about the non-primitive data type, these are the arrays, references, or we can say classes, objects. So these are the non-primitive data type which are dependent on the primitive data type. Okay. So the next question is what is data type modifiers? Data type modifiers, when you talk about the data type modifiers, these are some modification given to some fundamental data. When we need to modify some of our fundamental data type, we use modifiers. So we can say modifiers are some tags. These are some keywords, or we can say modifiers are the things which are basically used to modify the content of our primitive, that means fundamental data type. When we talk about the next question, it is name the types of data modifiers. So the types of data modifiers are signed, unsigned, and we can say long and short. There are four types of modifiers, that is signed, unsigned, long and short. So the next question is what are variables? When we talk about the variables are some memory spaces whose value can vary. So we can say in simple sentence, variables are the named memory spaces whose value can change from one value to another. So the next question is what are constant? When we talk about the constants are some words. We can say these are some memory blocks, or these are some values which remain fixed throughout our program. These are also known as literals. So literals or constants are the words which are fixed during the execution of our program. We can use the word keyword const to make our variable as a constant. So these are some we can say number 5. When the number 5 remain number 5 throughout the program, so this particular thing is known as constant. When we move to the next question, it's asking Name the basic types of constant or literals. The basic types of literals are integer literals, character literals, real literals, and we can say boolean literals. So basic types of literals are real literals, integer literals, character literals, and boolean literals. Okay. So the next question is, what are type conversion? When we talk about the type conversion is something which helps our programmers to convert from one data type to another data type. So these are some facilities provided to us to convert from one data type to another data type. So the basic types of type conversions are implicit and explicit. So the next question is, explain in brief the two types of type conversion given by C++. So the basic types of type conversion given by C++ are implicit and explicit. When we talk about the implicit type conversion, this type conversion is done by the computer itself, that means compiler itself. When compiler converts from one data type to another data type by itself, it is known as we can say implicit type conversion. And when we talk about the explicit type conversion, it is done by the user itself. When user itself convert from the one data type to another data type, it is known as explicit type conversion. Okay, fine. So when we move to the next question, it is, what are conditional statements? When we talk about the conditional statements, these are the some statements which are used to find out some types of conditions. These statements are basically prepared with the help of some relational operator. That means the operators which shows the relation between two or more values. So that's all about this tutorial. Thank you. Thanks a lot.